All right, all right, all right. Welcome to a very special What's Going On. We're going to kick this right off today. Um, brother Talib, are you with me? I can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. I had the I had it on mute.
Okay, I figured as much. I figured as much. As you can see, I'm not even working with from my usual devices. Thankfully, my daughter was so gracious to let me borrow her laptop. So I can conduct it and continue on because we're not going to stop no show. We are not going to be deterred. Or ain't that the truth? As we have found with a lot of our movement efforts, sometimes that does happen. Let me go ahead and situate some angles because I don't like this glare. But we want to go ahead and welcome you to the show. I'm going to put myself on mute and cam off while I situate some angles. And you can introduce yourself to the Glow Network. We do have some people rolling in, so thank you again for being a part. This is an amazing opportunity. So few times do we truly engage with each other's platforms. And so that's why, I don't know if I was one of the first people to respond in your call to
Yes,
do it, but I always jump for opportunities like this. I
yes,
really, really do.
yes. You do.
I do, because that's what I think this is what we should be doing. This is what we should be doing with our media and with the opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, cam off while I situate some angles and all. But introduce yourself to Glow Nation and welcome, welcome. I'm definitely looking forward to the conversation. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
No, thank you, sister. Thank you so much. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always. And I want to thank our sister Courtney Omega for giving us this opportunity to sit down and have a conversation on a very timely, a much needed topic, and that is the unity of the once called Negro in America. Also, uh, I had liked for her to be able to uh, play before we got together this afternoon our lecture from what we call the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Wanted her to play our Soul Liberation Day, and she said that she will definitely do that in the future. I want to send a shout out to my platform, the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I'm the mighty one, Angel Snub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. My platform is the Realities Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I want to send a shout out to my most strongest supporters. Uh, One of them is in the chat room, Mellow Cap, most valuable player, our Deacons of Reality, Soul Brother 85, Twin Pyramid, Angela Hines, Sister ANX, Almond Delight, Phil Fox, Razzie Fry. I think that's it for the time being that I can remember. I hope I didn't miss nobody in the top echelon. But thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. And hopefully this conversation will be well worth our time. I am Angel Snub 7, and I came to YouTube in 2007. And my top priority is the liberation of the once called American Negro in this country. Unlike so many of these that you know about, you will not hear me emphasize my skin color, because I am beyond that. We wake up to skin color every day. There's no need to talk about black this and black that. We wake up to that every day. And we have, or should have, grown from that mindset decades ago. There should be no need for us to constantly, I'm black, black power, I'm black power. We should have learned that and got over that hump since the time of Marcus Garvey. But we are very, very far behind in our evolution or this struggle. We are very, very far behind. We are stuck in the past. Many of us are still stuck in 1930, 1940, the 1960s. Some of us go far back as Kemet. When life comes here, when you sisters have a baby, your baby comes here for the present and for the future. This baby was not brought into this earth to go backwards. Our parents, our ancestors, they leave certain information for us so that we can avoid some of the pitfalls that they suffered, so that we can move forward, not go back where they come from, which is impossible unless we have a time machine, which many of us, if you have a time machine, could you put a 1 in the chat room? 1? We don't have a time machine. We concentrate on what was and not what is or what could be. And this is a problem when you're trying to move forward. Like those who have done certain evils in their life, but you have somebody remind them constantly, oh, you remember when you robbed that bank? You remember when you stole that little toy when you was 5 years old? Keep reminding them of a past they would like to forget, because I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to move forward. Peace to you, wisdom. We're trying to move forward. And this is what unity is about. It's about moving forward. We need to have this conversation. We also need to have a realistic conversation. The ministry that I represent is called the Realities Temple on Earth. And a lot of people cannot handle the reality of things. A lot of people cannot handle or really don't understand the situation that we find ourselves in. It is a dire situation. Why are we talking about unity? Contrary to popular belief, I was 7 years old at one time. Contrary to popular belief, I was 8, 9 years old at one time. And guess what they were saying? When I was a little boy, 50-some years ago. Oh, well, we need to unite. We need to unite. We need to get together. We need to unite. That was the 1960s. And many of you are history buffs, so you understand, but you didn't, a lot of you did not live it. You did not live the history, but you read about the Black Panthers and Nation of Islam and the Civil Rights Movement and SNCC, and the list goes on and on. Our sister Fannie Lou Hamer and all those persons that was involved in that movement. So, but I actually was living it. Actually, I was participating in it as a child. And so I heard this: we need to unite. We need to unite and get together. That was the 1960s. So our conversation for this afternoon is unity. Why are we still talking about unity? It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Why are we still talking about a redundant subject? It's a redundant subject. We're talking about it because we're not about it. It's a catchphrase. It's something that can hook the listener, but we really don't want it. I will say that again. You really don't want it. It sounds good. You can go before the people, brothers and sisters, we need to unite. And a lot of us are sincere. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I want to do that. But doing it, talking about it, and being about it is two different things. What is unity? In order to unify with somebody, you have to be willing to compromise. You have to be willing to compromise your position and respect who they are. We're not willing to compromise. We don't respect no damn body. So many of these folks have a hidden agenda looking out for themselves. They want unity based upon their wants, their needs. They don't care about what is in the best interest of 40 million plus brothers and sisters in this country who come from numerous walks in life, numerous ideas, numerous beliefs. You have to work with that, but they do not want to do that. They want you and me to be whatever it is in their mind we should be. You cannot unify with nobody who has that mindset. So clearly they don't want us to win. They want us to remain in a slave-like condition. They want us to remain under the domination and the control of this enemy or this oppressor. They do not want us to be independent. They want to keep telling you about blaming the white man. It's easy to blame the white man. That don't require any work. What requires work is unity. What requires work, once you get that unity and once you establish independence for yourself, you can no longer blame the white man. Whether you are successful or whether you're a failure, you can only blame yourself. And they would rather beg you for money to keep doing these ideas that's not going nowhere, to keep you in that mindset, feel good mindset, so they can make money off of you and get praise and get your money, or lay down in the bed and have sex with you. That's the only thing on their mind. They have no good intent for the once called Negro in this country. Unity is easy if that's what you want to do. They don't want to do it. The majority of these people that's talking to us, they're not interested. They don't want to do it. They want you to get on their slave plantation. That's what they want to do. They don't want you really liberated. They want you to go from one slave master to another. That's what they want you to do. Unity, many of us, we love basketball. One of my favorite sports. We love basketball. One of my favorite examples is Michael Jordan. I loved Michael Jordan when he was playing basketball. When Michael Jordan came to the NBA, he was spectacular. There was a sister that I was dating, and I really couldn't get with her because she want to watch Michael Jordan. And she talked about Michael Jordan. She was in college. She played college ball. I like to play the game. And she was talking, Michael Jordan. I said, who is Michael Jordan? I got the lady that I'm talking to, that I'm dating. She's talking about Michael Jordan more than me. I'm like, who the heck is Michael Jordan? Who is Michael Jordan? So one day, we sat and watched Michael Jordan. And I got hooked on Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is a bad man. I got hooked. I never watched sports. I've never been a sports person. I've never been a sports person. But when I saw Michael Jordan play, it made me want to watch basketball. The problem with Michael Jordan in his early days when he was a rookie, and mind you, myself and Michael Jordan, we're the same age. Michael Jordan was amazing. He put up amazing stats. He was just spectacular. Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan was putting up 45, sometimes 50 points in a game. Michael Jordan. Woo! Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan. And that's fine for Michael Jordan. It don't mean nothing to the Chicago Bulls. The purpose of basketball is to play as a team so that you can win a championship. That's the purpose. That's the goal of the NBA basketball team. You want to be the top dog. You need to win a championship. So the Chicago Bulls got a superstar, Michael Jordan, 45, all these sky dunks and stuff, all this stuff that he was doing. Chicago Bulls was not winning no championships. Oh, but Michael Jordan was getting his. He's on the Wheaties box, all kinds of TV commercials. Yeah, that's good for Michael Jordan. What about the team? Us? What about the team? It's good for Michael Jordan. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't until the Bulls got, what's his name? Phil. What's his name? Phil. What's his last name? Anyway, Phil.
Phil Jackson.
Yeah, Phil Jackson. Right, absolutely. So that's why it's cool to have a lot of help. Yeah, Phil Jackson come to the Bulls, and Phil Jackson wasn't having it. Phil Jackson had set this man down and had to take him up out of that arrogant type of thinking about Michael Jordan. Because as long as he thought about Michael Jordan and you're not thinking about the team, you're not going to win nothing. And I believe that Phil Jackson is a Buddhist. he had the team members get into these, chanting and all this stuff or whatever. Michael Jordan had to learn how to play team ball. There's a brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. And Dr. Claude Anderson teaches us that racism is a team sport. You and I, we cannot put a dent in our situation. We cannot move forward unless we play as a team. And I understand many of y'all are superstars. So you think. I remember when I was a young boy, I wanted to play ball. I knew I was good. I was unorthodox. I knew I was good. But nobody wanted to play with me. I guess because I looked like a little nerd or whatever. And some of you probably had that same experience. You out on the basketball court and nobody don't want to pick you for their team. They don't want to. So by the time I get to play on the court, it's me and all the other misfits that didn't get picked. And they laughing. Look at this. So the next team that's coming on the floor, they laugh and they know that it's going to only take a few minutes to knock us off. And the next big shot team, the next team with the Kobe wannabe, the Shaq wannabe, the Michael Jordan wannabes, the LeBron wannabe. Y'all know what I'm talking about because it still goes on today. We go to the YMCA. We go to outside on these courts. There's always a Kobe out there. There's a Michael Jordan and a LeBron. All these different people. They already on the court. They so good. It's all about them. So what I done, while these big head folks was playing the game, I knew that the misfits, all these misfits that didn't get to play, I knew we was going to be playing together. So while they showboating and crap, I'm getting us together, asking people, what can you do? Can you dribble? Can you shoot? Can you guard? I'm asking my people because we need to play as a team. I need to understand, what can you do to help us win? What can you do? What can you bring to the table to help us win? And then we'll go from there. So it's our time. The misfits can't dribble, can't shoot, too short, too fat, all of us coming on the court. But I understood what I can do. And I'm going to take advantage of my team. And to make a long story short, once we got on the court, they couldn't take us off. The misfits. The LeBron James couldn't take us off. The Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants, they couldn't take us off the court. This is a lesson for us. Because I knew that this is a team sport. I knew I would be our strength because I knew how good I was. And how good I was took them by surprise. And so I started attracting the double teams. And then I would pass the ball off to my teammates. And since they don't need to be guarded like that, they can make easy points. Oh, whoo! If we only understood teamwork. Right here on YouTube, you have people so high and mighty, they don't even want to talk to you. You can send them all the emails. You can try to talk. You ain't on my level. That's what they tell you all the time. Can I debate you? You're not on my level. But are they winning? They're only winning for themselves. The Cash App donations only go to them. The Super Chat only go to them. All the hundreds and thousands of people in their chat rooms and who's listening, they don't get nothing. But when you play as a team and you win that championship, everybody get to take home a ring. Not just Michael Jordan. Everybody get to take home a ring. Everybody wins. But when you're selfish, there's only one winner. That's Michael Jordan. And if you listen to the people who play with Michael Jordan, a lot of them would tell you, I don't even like him, but I want a ring. Oh, woo, what a wonderful lesson. I thought y'all love basketball. I thought you love sports, but you don't even understand. You don't even learn nothing from the sports that you love. I heard many of Michael Jordan's teammates say, I don't even like the man, but I want a ring. He's going to help me get that ring before I retire. I don't like him. I think he's arrogant. I think he's full of doo-doo. But he's going to get me that ring. So when you see Michael Jordan come out on the court after being deprogrammed by Phil Jackson, absolutely, it is. It's vanity. Malik, absolutely. We're talking about vanity. But after he was deprogrammed by Phil Jackson, you saw Michael Jordan looking for. Do they understand, Sister Omega? Do they understand? Once Michael Jordan was deprogrammed, he began to look for his teammates. Because actually, playing as a team made his job easier. Woo, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you today? Woo, if we was in church, the holla glories and the hallelujahs and the amens. Playing as a team makes your job easier. The Nation of Islam cannot do this by themselves. The Black Panther Party, you can't do it by yourself. Tariq Nasheed, you can't. Foundation of Black Americans, none of you can do it by yourself. You got to play as a team. You got to learn how to pass the ball. When you lose to another team, now y'all love basketball and you know this. When you lose against a team and then you know you're going to play them again, what do? I know what I see in the NBA. I also believe they do that in high school basketball also. Okay, fellas. All right, ladies, because ladies play basketball too. The coach goes and get a film. And we watch the film and try to figure out what went wrong. Why did we lose? So when we play them again, we're not going to make these mistakes no more. So we rewind and we watch Malcolm X. We rewind and we watch Medgar Evers and we watch Huey Newton and all our people from the 60s and 30s. We rewind the film so that we can understand and learn from their mistakes So when we begin to play these people again, we don't make the same mistakes that they made, so that we can beat them, so we can win. How you doing there, Kimberly Davis? And we love basketball. We love sports. There's a lesson in sports. Team sports. Race is a team sport. We must play as a team. If you don't play as a team, you're going to lose. You don't have nothing coming. And in our situation, we're getting further and further behind in the struggle, because these lessons we should have learned a long time ago. When we rewind the tape, and some of y'all rewind the tape going all the way back to Kemet, ancient Ethiopia. But we cannot tell that you learn anything from your behavior, because you're not winning. You're coming on the court and you're dunking and you're putting up 45 points a night, but you don't have a championship. You're acting like Michael Jordan. It's all about me. Now, I reached out to about 20 different people, and I asked them, because I know that the Soul Liberation Day live stream is neutral. It's motivational. It's inspirational. There's nothing negative about it. Only one person responded. And that's our Sister Omega. And Sister Omega and myself had some misunderstanding, but she looked over that foolishness. And here I am right here talking with her today. Because the struggle is more important than my personal hurt and pain. It's more than her personal hurt and pain, our feelings getting hurt. Those who are serious, we know and understand we have to look beyond those things, because I want a ring. You don't have to like Michael Jordan, but he can help me get a ring. Do you want liberation? Do you want independence? Do you want an all-black nation? Do you want those things? Then you have to work with those who can get you those things. Apparently you don't want it, because you're not going to get it by yourself. You're not going to get it based on your terms, because your terms is vain. Your terms only benefit yourself. We have 40 million plus in this nation, various ideas, numerous beliefs. So we have to be able to be flexible enough so that we can gain enough of a majority so that we can cause change. You don't need everybody. That's a myth, of course. You don't need everybody. You just need a strong group that can lead. A strong group with a vision and a plan and a goal. A strong group that's sincere. That's what you need. And the rest is going to follow. They don't have any choice because they're followers. You don't have to worry about all those out there. They're followers. They're going to follow the lead of those who are strong. So Michael Jordan, because of his talent, became the leader of the Bulls. and he became the strength of the Bulls. But Michael Jordan understood, I got to play Scottie Pippen. I got to play Steve Kerr. I got to play these other teammates here. We're not going to be able to get this championship. Once Michael Jordan understood teamwork, his job became easier, and he still was Michael Jordan. He still put up 40, 45, 50 points. He didn't stop being Michael Jordan, but now he goes to another level. The Bulls began to win championships. They won 3 in a row. Took a little break, come back, 3 more. Because Michael Jordan began to understand teamwork. Race is a team sport. If you don't play like a team, you're not going to get anywhere. You don't try to go back to the past. You learn from the past. You rewind the VHS tape. You go to the library and you read and you understand, what did Marcus Garvey do wrong? There are people who get angry at me because I say that Marcus Garvey was a failure. Because I say Elijah Muhammad was a failure. Because I say that the Black Panther and all those prior to us was failures. Well, if they was winners, we should be in a better place. It's not their fault. They didn't have a blueprint. They really didn't have a history to really follow. They didn't have a tape to rewind. So it's not their fault. They was doing the best they could, but they failed. However, just because they fail doesn't mean that's a bad thing. They sacrifice so we can win. There's no excuse for us in 2021 why we can't win. There's no excuse at all. As a people, if we was a people, that's one of our problems. We're not a people. Because if we viewed ourselves as a people, this struggle would be much, much easier. Many of you call yourself Africans. And maybe you are. Because when you look at that continent of Africa, they are divided. They are tribal. Everybody in Africa is doing their own thing. Just like here in America. You have the same mindset. What caused the African to be in the situation they are in? Because they did not play like a team. Somebody came in, saw they was all divided up, put this one against the other, and then when they conquered all of them. You already know this. We already know this. So why are we continuing with this same behavior? You must do something different. We must have, our whole mindset must change. We have to look at things differently. You cannot look to Africa. Africa cannot even handle its own problems. Africa has land. You don't have no land. Africa has resources. Africa has their own cut. They have a lot of things going for them that you don't have, and look at their condition. You can't look up to Africa to solve your problem. Going to Africa, the only thing you're doing is going from one problem to another. You're not going to better yourself going to Africa. This is a fact. We have a delusional way of looking at Africa. And when you look at Africa, they're trying to be Europeans. When you look at the cities of Africa, it looked like European cities. There's no difference. And I will tell you this. Why do you think, or what makes you think you claim you want change, but you don't want to change? You want something new, you want something better, but you don't want to become new. You don't want to become better. You want to stay, and your children gonna stay the same old Negro that we have been for the last 400 going on 500 years. If that's the case, we might as well stay where we're at. And you are. You're going to remain in the condition that you're in because you won't change. And you deserve what you get. You act like hell, you're profane, you're vulgar, you're violent. You deserve to be right here where you're at. With those who are vulgar, those who are violent, the liars, the gossip spreaders, the whoremongers, the drunks, you belong with them. You're not going to go nowhere. You cannot, what they say, you cannot have your cake and eat it too, or something to that point. It's not going to happen. I'm not a religious person, but I support and advocate righteous behavior. I don't advocate righteous behavior because of God. Because God is going to punish me if I don't act right. I advocate righteous behavior because that's beneficial and is good for our development. That's why. Not because I'm scared God is going to punish me. We must be different. So those who are familiar with religious teachings, it says in your scriptures, it talks about that the God would bring into existence a new heaven and a new earth, and the former things shall pass away. In order for something new, I was told in biology, the purpose of death is so something new and better can come into existence. And when you look at life on this planet, that's what you see. And to do a very quick experiment to show that this is true, you can take roaches. A roach is a good example because roaches multiply real quick or whatever. Roaches are known, if you spray them with a certain poison, of course they will die. But the baby roaches that's still in that egg case, they get exposed to that poison that killed their parents. And next thing you know, the new generation of roaches, they will actually eat and live off the poison. Woo, this is a wonderful day. This is a wonderful day. They will actually, these roaches will actually live off the poison that killed their parents. Life is about evolution. Life is about becoming better. You do not become better in death. You become better in life. Death means that is the end. Life is evolution. Life is a new beginning. We learn from the past. Woo! We learn from the past, but that's dead. It can't help us. Dead people can't help us. This is why you have a living brain. Your living brain, if you allow your brain to work properly, it will give you the answers to solve your problems. We're not thinking with our brains. We are programming our brain with somebody who dead. So all over YouTube, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad, the Black Panthers, all that's dead. And you can only go to the point where they died. I love Malcolm X, but his wisdom stops February the 21st, 1965. It stops. There's no more evolution. There's nothing else new. It stops. He can only tell you from 1925, I believe that's when Malcolm was born. Malcolm can only show you from 1925 to 1965. That's it. You are alive. But see, you have a brain. You and I do ourselves a disservice. Yes, our ancestors was great. Yes, they was great in Kemet. Yes, they was great in ancient Ethiopia. Yes, our people, yes, it was great. But you and I have a brain just like they do. Why can't you create a language? You think these languages just fell out the sky? Men created language. Men developed science and mathematics and culture, music and dance and literature. You mean to tell me you got to go all the way 5,000 years and copy what somebody did 5,000 years ago in the desert? And you're not smart enough? You're not intelligent enough to develop your own? Behold, I make all things new. You claim to be a God, but you don't act like a God. You call yourself the original man. Oh, the black man is the original man. You don't do nothing original. The only thing you do is sit around and copy and plagiarize what somebody said, what somebody done long time ago. You are God and don't create nothing. You control no resources. You make no laws and make no policies. Everybody suck your blood every day. You got people coming from all over the earth to the United States, and they end up in your neighborhood, sucking your blood and become rich and wealthy. And we've been here going on 500 years and can't get nothing going. Something is wrong with us, not them. They're trying to survive. If you don't want to fix your own shoes, then they're going to come in your neighborhood. Hey, my friend, do you want your shoes? Is something wrong with your shoes? I fix your shoes. You too lazy? You don't want to cook? I make Chinese food for you. You don't like washing feet? I wash your feet for you. And they become rich. You got clean feet. You got clean feet and everything, and you well fed, but you don't get nothing. Out of the $1 trillion that this people get out of this economy every year, you have nothing to show for it. A failure of your leadership, the failure of our own mindset. Can I address this troll here? Okay, sir, let Omega speak before she falls asleep. amazing when people bring nonsense and beefs and foolishness. We love that.
And I wanted to address it too. I'm going to go ahead and let you take it, but Rain, that's not what we're here for. Yeah. And like brother Taalik just said, brother Soul, brother number one just said, listen. Let me tell you, the reason why I am silent over here is because even as a media professional, a degree journalist, I am doing what? Taking my notes. Because listen, I haven't heard him say nothing wrong yet. If he had said something wrong, trust me, I would be the first to jump in. And trust me, I was teetering because I love some Michael Jordan myself.
Yeah.
But he ain't said nothing wrong. And my own son, to further prove how much I love some Michael Jordan, my own son was born on the 23rd, on 2/3. Yeah. So you know it's real when I say that I am the universe even knew how big of a fan I am of Michael Jordan. And so, but he is absolutely right and correct. That until Michael began, and I studied Jordan. Yeah. Until Jordan understood the significance of teamwork, he had no championships. He had none. And his original coach, Doug Collins, who he had removed so that Phil Jackson could come in and be the coach. Doug Collins even has said that Phil Jackson got Jordan to do something that he never could. And that's pass that ball to somebody else. Pass that ball. That triangle offense became legendary because it required motion. It wasn't just, hey, you get him and let him go and do what he did to do. And also Phil Jackson reminded Michael Jordan a lot of his college coach, Mr. Dean Smith, that would limit him. He said he would always pull him out once he got to a certain number. And he hated that. He hated that. But that's one thing about training. And, not to divert too much, but you understand that athletes are trained just as animals are trained. This is a controversial thing, but that's what they are. They're trained like animals are trained. And there's a certain training technique that is you hold those animals back, because the moment you take that guard off, they're unstoppable. So I don't think there's any coincidence that he also became a bull. But I just want to get back to that. Of course, he ended up playing for the Wizards as well. But
we don't want to talk about that history.
We surely don't. His career was built with the Bulls, and the Bulls, that is a training technique that is very specific to that particular animal as well. Yeah. That you keep those blinders on, you keep those guards on, and you get them so mad and so raging that the moment that they lift that guard, they are unstoppable. And so I just wanted to say that, and Raymack, and you can continue, but you're rocking. I usually, as you know, this is usually an hour show, but I am letting it extend because I need to jump in here and just really engage, because wow, I got some things that I'm going to unload on that are very controversial. And I literally have never said these in an open forum such as this, but they need to be said tonight, because something is shifting right now, even as you're talking, even as you're speaking, and we need to address them. So I'm going to go back on mute and cam off and let you address sister Rain. And thank you so much. He said, my bad, Queen. Thank you so much for saying that. But yes, I'm not sleeping. What I am is, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So I'm listening and I'm taking in, because a wise man knoweth that he know nothing at all. And if there's anything that I like to, that I can pride myself on is, being wise enough to know when I can learn from what's being said. And there's no need for me to be talking in contradiction. But let me digress.
Yeah. Even for myself, And I saw the comment in the chat room. It's about vanity. Vanity. We know it all. You can't tell me nothing. And that's a big problem with us in this Black soul community. You can't tell nobody nothing because I already know. Now, I am known for harsh critique. And some people say, I disrespect folks. No, I want you to win. You're not winning. That's what makes me angry. You're not winning. You're not winning because you're selfish. You're not winning because you're lazy. You're not winning. There's a whole lot of different factors here. You're not playing as a team. You're not winning. You want somebody to come to you and talk to you like you're a winner, and you're not. You're a damn loser. When you win, I would tell you, wow, y'all got it going on. Y'all winning. What is winning? Winning is when you're able to control resources, gas, electricity, water, land. When you're able to provide for yourself with or without another man involved in your life, you're not winning. Anybody can kill you, and the only thing you can do is cry. My child, the gang member, the racist police. Only thing we can do is cry. We can't do nothing else about it. Because you have no power. You have to wait on somebody else. Mr. FBI, can you investigate? Mr. Federal Government, Mr. Local Sheriff, can you? Because you have no power. There should be no gangs in our community if there was men in your community. Because the men are not going to tolerate you coming into their community and shoot their grandmama down. She trying to have a breath of fresh air on her front porch, and here comes some idiots shooting at each other and kill your grandmother. Men are not going to tolerate that. My babies can't go to church. Go to school. They got to dodge bullets because these idiots shooting at each other. No, 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 no. Don't have no men. That's too much for the police, and the police don't care. Quite frankly, they don't care. All thing you want to do is go to work, do your 8 hours, 10 hours a day, get off from work, get drunk, watch TV. What kind of man are you? And then lay around at night and make more babies you cannot protect. More babies you can't feed. You want to make all these babies. You don't produce Similac. You don't make no baby shoes, no baby milk, no baby clothes. The only thing you know how to do is jump in the bed and make the baby so the white man can take care of your baby. Oh yeah, you go out here and you get some money, but you don't produce nothing for your babies. It's all psychological. You can scream Black Power all you want to, and the child said, where did my shoes come from? Walmart. Some Chinese people made the shoes. Where did my coat come from, mama? Come from Macy's, white man's Macy's, made in Taiwan. Damn, mama. Dang, daddy. What is it that black people make? What is it that black people do? Huh? How can you look at your child? What you gonna say to your children? You riding around in your Mercedes Benz? Mama, do black people make Mercedes Benz? No. Mama, did black people build our house? No. Mama, do the black people make the tires for the car? No. Mama, do black people make the gas for the car? No. Look at the condition. Look where you are at. And you're proud to say this. and we got a bunch of people on here that's not serious about nothing, how can you as a man tolerate this? How can you look at your child and your child looking at you and whether the child says it or not, the child knows you don't produce a damn thing. I would feel shame. I would feel great shame. So, what is the answer? What is the solution? Now, we offer what is called Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. And I did have a channel dedicated to the Mississippi campaign, but Black people flagged down my channels. But you can go to Facebook and we still have the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. We want to take control of a state. All this little tiddlywink stuff that we doing, they don't get you nowhere. The only thing it does is like Michael Jordan. It benefits Michael Jordan, his 45, 50 points. It does not benefit the team. Your little tiddlywink, you want to build a school, I open up my little, and y'all really think y'all doing, and these people really think they're doing something spectacular. We've always done for ourselves. Our ancestors was doing for themselves way before it became a slogan from the Nation of Islam. We've already built, we had all Black towns. We've had some of the biggest positions in this country. Congress people, senators, mayors, police chiefs. All this stuff we've already done. It's not enough. This is a race and you're too far behind. We have to do something really, really big to get on the map. What's bigger than taking control of a state? This state is all ours. When you come to this state, we control everything. We control the water, the electricity, the gas, the roads, the public school system, the National Guard. We control all of it. It's ours to control. And whatever land that the state of Mississippi owns or can use, you can use that for whatever purpose you want to. You control the budget of a state. That has never been done before. And it puts you on the map. Let me tell you how bad. Just the fact that people think, just the fact they think you're going to do this is going to turn heads, not only in America, but around the world. What are those Negroes? What are they doing? Nobody care about your little lemonade stand on the corner selling apples. Nobody care nothing about your $1 billion business. That's nothing. When you talk about business, these Caucasian people, some of their businesses make trillions of dollars a year. If you own the electric company, that's money. That's power, money, influence. You own nuclear reactors. And y'all talking tiddling, you think small. The reason why you have to think small is because you're selfish and your funds is limited. So the only thing you can do is do a little lemonade stand or these little tiddlywink baby projects. But with unity, you can pull off something big. And the state of Mississippi can turn into our safe haven sanctuary state. It doesn't make any difference where you live in the United States. You can get help from the state of Mississippi that you control. You control the state of Mississippi. Now you have power and influence. You can talk to the United States government. And I wanted to start my talk off with this, but I'll go ahead before my time runs out. I want to bring this up. We have a sister in exile, and we have brothers and sisters in prisons, our political prisoners, as a state, because you got power and influence. You can go to the United States government and say, look, hey, I understand the past and what they supposed to have did or whatever. Give Assata Shakur to us. Give us our political prisoners from the 1960s and 70s or whatever. Give them to us. They won't go nowhere else. Just bring them to Mississippi. Bring them to us. We want them to die, and we want to live the rest of their lives out in dignity. And we want to show them appreciation for their sacrifice, what they did for our people. Because they didn't have to do nothing at all, like most black folks, whatever, don't do a damn thing. You cannot demand none of this. And look, being a sanctuary state, you would be just like those sanctuary cities when Donald Trump wanted to put all those immigrants into concentration camps or whatever. Those sanctuary cities said, no, you're not doing that. They took those immigrants and they took care of them. They became sanctuary cities. And they defied the United States government. Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He couldn't do nothing. And this is a city. These are cities that defy the United States government, the federal government. What you think the federal government can do to you if you become a state and control a state? You're not a city, you're a state. But you think small and you think selfish. And you keep thinking that what they did in 1930, 40, 50, you keep doing the same stuff over and over again. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to think big. If you don't think big, if you don't do big, anything else you do is nothing but vanity. we just bought 200 acres of land, and we just opened up a multi-million-dollar recording studio. It only benefits you and the few people that's around you. It does not do nothing for the 40 million. Taking control of a state benefits the 40 million because the 40 million is going to participate in making the state strong, making it successful. And they become the citizens. Now, we do know that you can be a citizen, a dual citizen of the United States and another country. Is there anything written where you can't be a dual citizen of a state? Because this state is yours. This is your new nation. This is the catalyst. This is the beginning of your new nation. Some of us want what we want when we want. That's not how it works. You do things little by little, and you do things for what is the best interest of your future generations. I know what you want. There's things that I want. But we will not see it in our lifetime. You put the children, the future generations, on the right path, and they will go where you want them to ultimately go. We want to be independent. We want our own culture. We want our own flag. We want all this for ourselves. Now, in our lifetime, if we are alive to see them going go in that direction where we want them to go, that's fine. Do you know that soldiers die for freedom? They never get to enjoy the freedom that they died for. They never got to enjoy the liberation that they died for. We are the soldiers. We are this generation. We are the soldiers. We are the boots on the ground. It is our responsibility to show the generations how to move and what they need to do in order to get to the promised land that Dr. King spoke about. The heaven that the Bible talks about. The hereafter. Hereafter this madness that we've suffered right now, that the Quran talks about. That's your job. To sacrifice yourself so they can live. We become the Jesus that died on the cross. It's not one person, it's a people, it's a persons. You have to sacrifice ourselves and die on the cross. And that's what it's about.
Here, that is what it's about. We got, you know what, let me tell you first and foremost, this opportunity, because that's what it was presented to me. And I said, you know what, I knew, and I knew something, the enemy was working. Because when I tell you, I take my laptop everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's my little office. I said the enemy was working when I left that at the studio. I never leave that laptop anywhere, never. So I said, you know what, what is supposed to be I feel like, you said we in church today, what's supposed to be will not be stopped. What's supposed to be is not be stopped. And this conversation was supposed to be had, because let me tell you, there are so many things that have been weighing on my mind, brother, that like I said, I was really contemplating, should I just make like do the videos how I used to do in the past when they weren't on live, you just do the pre-recorded, and then you just load it. That's what I was contemplating doing, because I was like, well, I don't have my laptop, so, I could just do it from my phone, because there was so much in me I wanted to get out. And when I tell you, you have just been hitting on some points. First and foremost, and I mentioned this at the last State of the Melanated address, y'all, and I'm going to say this, and I don't want to disrespect anybody. Nobody do I want to disrespect. But it is ridiculous to me how we will drum up so much effort to be out there marching. When one of our members, one of our melanated members are gunned down or killed by whoever, because whether it's by, the gang member, or whether it's by the police, or whether it was, just for whatever reason, we'll be out there in droves.
Yes.
But when I was an elected official, talking about on the ballot, elected a representative for my community in Miami, Florida, I couldn't get 10 people out to move housing legislation, to create a housing resolution. So this is so hear me out. This is where I feel like our issue is as a people, that we would rather, there's a saying even in scripture. And y'all know, because you said we was in church now.
We in church.
So, I had to go to the scripture.
Come on, bring it.
But it said, let the dead bury the dead.
Oh.
So we would rather be talking about let's sit around here and talk about somebody that's dead, rather than talking about how we can work with the families that are living. Yeah. And they're living in squalor conditions, are living in subpar conditions. Because like I've been saying, I've been on this campaign for a minute, fuck that rent. If there is any demographic that should not be paying to live, it should be us. We are paying to live on the very same grounds that our ancestors were murdered, beaten, raped, pulled off of, and now we're paying to stay there. But instead of gathering up, strategizing, and mobilizing, because we are 70% of the rental industry. If we don't pay rent, there is no rental industry. There is no rent. There's no housing without us, literally and figuratively. But instead of us organizing to do that, we got to get down to this courthouse and make sure that these men are found guilty of murder. And what does it matter? What does it matter at the end of the day that they are found guilty or not? Because we clearly know that they're going to be treated differently anyway, you know, whether they are found guilty or not. The justice system does not serve them the same way it serves us. It never was intended to.
Absolutely.
And this is coming from someone that is a former, you know, wife of an attorney, of a lawyer. Okay. So, you know, like I said, I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, and don't get me wrong. I love my brothers. I have a son. Trust me, you know, but I tell you, if something happened, God forbid, to my son, I ain't marching. That's not what I'm doing. Okay. So what is understood does not need to be spoken, but I ain't marching. Somebody hurts my son or my diamond. My son or my diamond. The next point, absolutely. To that, we're more likely to be evicted and homeless than we are to be murdered. Let me say that again, y'all. We, as Black people, are more likely to be evicted and homeless than we are to be murdered. So why are we focusing on what affects the least of us? And if anybody wants to start, because sometimes they get in here talking about something. Well, what about there are such things as Black property owners and Black landlords and that sort of thing. Too few of us make up that industry for me to care about.
Yeah.
That's just bottom line. That's bottom line. Okay. And again, to belabor, to add on to your point, how really on time this discussion is. I don't know if you've seen it, brother, but I watched both parts of the Cynthia G live that she did with Storm Monroe. I usually don't go on Storm Monroe's channels because he does a lot of celebrity gossip. And you know me, that's just not me. I don't do that. But if it's a conversation that can be built upon, I'll definitely tune in. But usually it's not from his channel. But when I saw Cynthia G was on his channel, I said, you know what? It was very interesting timing, because Rob Perkins will be on F-Bomb Friday, this Friday, you all. Make sure you tune in. That's going to be explosive. Absolutely. Because he is B123 all day. And so that's going to be explosive. So please make sure you tune in. But so I guess because he's in my algorithms, you know, she popped up. And I hadn't checked on Cynthia G in years. I mean, I really hadn't. But when I tell you, I listened to both of those parts front to back, and it really set me down. And, you know, I'm sitting down already, but it set me down even further because of the fact that where were the lies? That as a collective, what is being built? And y'all, don't get me twisted. Don't get me wrong. I've worked with Black millionaires. I've worked with, I've been an elected official in government. But what you see on the inside, and people always tell me, oh, you should run now that you're back in Atlanta. You should definitely run here. I hesitate. I don't jump into that conversation anymore because what I saw on the inside was something that I just can't unsee. And I just saw so much cooning. I saw so much cooning, so much gatekeeping, so much excuse making, so much lying. I've had literally, people that were in very, very well-connected positions tell me that they promised me, commit to me a certain amount to help with a certain program, youth program, feeding a community program that I was organizing. I mean, literally make commitments and then you don't hear from them. And I'm talking about for months. And I'm the type of person, whereas, I'm not going to beg somebody to do something they said they were going to do.
Right.
I ask you one time and I move on. But this is why I said earlier when Rain was saying, what was the point? I said there were plenty of takeaways. You have to be listening to what he said. First and foremost is we don't need honesty. We don't need unity. We need honesty.
Yes.
We need honesty. Don't say that you about uniting if that's not what you about.
Right.
Say, like you said, say what you really want to do. Say that that's my point, as you might know, I've been abstaining. I have not had, sex for years. Mm-hmm. And it blows my mind how many people say, oh, that's just that should be so hard to do. How is it hard? I'm not looking for just nobody to pump on no skin. I'm looking for someone to build with. And when you're looking for someone to build with, having a couple of hours in the roll around and having some orgasms, that pales in comparison to what I'm looking at doing ultimately. And so I'm not interested in exposing myself in order to just say, oh, well, at least I'm getting some. Okay, no, I'm not. Y'all, we need to be honest, man. And that's I think what the main takeaway from this is. The main takeaway from this is that you are too old for a couple of hours. No, I'm not, honey. Baby, you know. Hi, I'm sorry, Mr. Snuggles. I don't know how old you are, baby, but let me tell you, honey, I've been absent from the game for a few years, but trust me, when I'm back on that court, it's gonna be like how I said, where they took the gate off for the bull, okay? A couple hours ain't gonna be no problem. It ain't gonna be no problem. Miss Omega Creighton has always been official. Thank you so much, Wisdom. Oh, and Wisdom, to address your point with this, and this also goes into what you were saying, soul brother number one, that people don't really want unity. No. So when you say Wisdom, I'm going to address what you say about Michi X. It was no misunderstanding. She makes it very clear. I've listened to a couple of her lives recently. But she makes it very clear she's looking for people to take her classes. She's looking for people to take her classes, and that gives her money. Y'all know I don't remove that Cash App. That Cash App is always down there. You can always contribute, and I thank all of you who usually do. But I don't host no classes. I don't do things like that because let me tell you, quite honestly, I am always I'm doing things that are productive to building my brand, but also I have, I'm a mom, homeschool, I produce for another show. I'm, trying to close on a property. I'm not going to sit around and play with you and take your money and pretend like I have the time to invest in even doing a class, that I have that type of time. And so quite frankly, the time that I have, it's not going to be something that, I'm going to be very honest. It's not going to be something that people find value in. They're gonna give you the runaround with what have you. But she makes it very clear that that's what she's interested in doing on her lives. She's not interested in really uniting with people here in Atlanta and building. And that's anyone, I understand she has helped some people with being able to organize some online classes or their online businesses, rather. Some people that are, in fact, members of Fact of Glow Nation. But when I was on her live years ago, and I was just in the chat and I was just trying to connect with people because it was right before I moved back to Atlanta. I was just trying to connect with people. So I said, hey, let's connect, let's collab if you're in the Atlanta area. She, told me don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to do that. So, and my thing is, I've always allowed, there has never been a time, anybody that knows, you can go and look at footage in my comment section. I always let people connect. I think that that's what we should be using this for. We should be using this for any effort. We should be using our platform for any effort to unify. But the reason why some content creators, and I think that is her included, that don't want you connecting in the chat, they want the energy all on them because that's where they want all the money to go.
Right, absolutely.
She needs more people for her class. She don't need people around emailing you, talking about these things that she could be teaching people how to do, in a class and be getting paid money for it. I'm not the type of person. Like I said, I have other businesses that I'm already doing. And so I don't even have the time to conduct a class at this point. I just don't. But at the same time, the other businesses that I'm doing are to build and to support the brand, the Glow Makeup brand. And it's not just, and that's said. So I'm not going to be out here pretending like, hey, let me go out and help you do this and do that, when that's what it is. Now, if you want to join MX Media Group, by all means, that's an opportunity that we have to share knowledge amongst one another in the network. And those opportunities are definitely still open. So if anybody's interested in joining MX Media Group, we definitely welcome you. Let me see what else is being said here. I'm just reading through some comments, Brother Talib. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you said people don't need unity, they need honesty. That statement is very refreshing and it's such an eye-opener. It makes a lot of sense. Oh, it's true. Yeah, because let me tell you, and like I said, again, I don't do a lot of these conversations. I really don't, because a lot of us are not ready to have them. That's just the bottom line. I do the State of the Melanin address, and you should definitely weigh in and come in on the next one, Brother Philip. I think you've attended a couple last year, but you should definitely come in on the next one. The State of the Melanin address is the first Saturday of every month. So the next one will be, of course, in January, and that is going to be a great one because it's going to be a year. We're going to do a State of the Melanin address for the year. And so that's going to be an awesome, awesome conversation. But I don't really have these conversations with people because just honestly, a lot of us aren't trying to hear it. Like we want to sit around and we want to argue. We want to talk about gossip. We want to talk about celebrities, but we really don't want to identify and expose some of these inconsistencies or the hypocrisies that we are in fact spewing. One of the main ones is like was said earlier, that people say they want to unify, but then I can't get you to even meet in person. I can't get you to connect beyond the borders, as I like to say. So are you really trying to unify, or are you really just you're saying it because it sounds good? I think that's what it is. In order to unite, you need money. People find value in eating when they are hungry. Well, that's why we do have Colored Only Cafe. All right. And our next event is coming up on December 24th. Come on and get colored down at the core if you're here in Atlanta. And if you're not here in Atlanta, get on over. It is taking place on December 24th because, again, it is no holiday. It ain't no holiday, but it is Brother Salim's born day. And so he is having a yoga party, and Colored Only Cafe will be edibly curating with some vegan pad thai and some lovely kale salad. So please come on over. Okay, in order to unite, you need money. I think that that's not necessarily the case. I think there is power in group economics. But you can unite with little to no money. I've seen it done. I've organized it being done. But the thing of it is that the vision just needs to be constantly a priority. And sometimes when people unite, that's where it is. That's where it ends. They're like, great, we all here. Yay. And it's like, well, we need to do something now that we're all here. So I think that uniting money can be a big part, of course. But we need to when we first come together, it's amazing what will happen, because as a friend of mine, a colleague of mine told me, and I've never forgotten it, there is nothing more powerful on earth than forces uniting. Than forces in agreement. That's what it was. then force is an agreement. That's true. And so, but once we are there, what is the vision and how do we move it forward? So Snuggles also says you should still have the conversations because it's not about being ready. It's about getting people ready, irregardless, because the situation you were brought into, nobody was ready for it. I think that brother's right though, even in that regard, that, you know, and like he said, I love Malcolm too. I love Malcolm. You know, MX Media Group is named for Malcolm. It's funny to me how many people still ask me that to this day. They ask me what does MX stand for? Malcolm X. I'm a student of Malcolm X. MX stands for Malcolm X. But we see like the Fred Hamptons, and I have to jump off this soon because I do have another meeting about I have another meeting with the MX Media Group member. We have a discussion that we're putting together about Fred Hampton and the reason why the government wanted him dead. But again, like Brother Talib said earlier, the Fred Hamptons, the Martin Luther Kings, the Medgar Evers, the Malcolm X's, you know, they didn't have a black print to follow.
No.
But we do, and we saw what it is. We don't have a problem with knowing what black print. We have a problem with being afraid to execute it. We're afraid to execute it because nobody wants to end up like, you know, Martin, like Malcolm, like Medgar. We don't want to end up like that. So we gonna pretend like we just don't know what needs to be done. But the thing of it is that if you're no threat, you're no problem. Okay? If you're no threat, you're no problem. And the fact of the matter is why those men were taken down when they were is because they were a problem. But then we see people like Harriet Tubman that lived into her, you know, almost 100. She lived, you know, into her 80s. She lived, you know. And this woman, you know, freed many. But again, she risked her life personally more than probably, you know, I'm talking about knowingly risked her life. I'm not talking about whether the danger was there. I'm sure the danger was always there for Malcolm, for Martin to be assassinated, of course. But she knowingly went into this. Every time she went down and got another group, there was a bounty on her head. And even with that, she still lives. So there is a saying that fortune favors the brave. Okay. And a coward dies many deaths.
That's right.
Okay. But the courageous only die once. Only die once. A coward will die 1,000 times over. Come on. So there's nothing wrong with people being afraid to unify. You have to understand when people have tried it before, they might have been burned. Do you have to keep that into account? Yes, you have to keep that into account. But guess what? So if we know that Tulsa was burned to the ground, that means that we just not going to create another? Is that what that means? Or does this mean that, okay, if Tulsa was burned to the ground, we know that what we got to do is we got to make sure we have an irrigation system. We can get them hoses fast. We got to build up our men. We got to build up our men to be our army. We know that. If we know that we've seen what happens. But what we have not seen is us do anything because of what happened. We have just taken the shit, we pack up and move on. You know how many evictions are filed and how many evictions actually take place? The numbers would shock y'all. The evictions that are filed, like they're almost like it's like 20%. But the evictions that take place are almost at 100. Why? Because as soon as people get that notice, what they do, they pack them and they leave. They don't want no problems. Me, I want all the smoke. Let's go. Let's go to court. Oh, you say I got 10 days? Or I got 2 days? Or I got 3 days? I want to take them all. I'll take them all. Let's go. And I'm not telling y'all to do something I didn't do. I haven't done. I faced an eviction. I faced an eviction as an elected official. You know how embarrassing that was? But I took all my days, and guess what? It took 2 years. It took 2 years for them to get me out of that. I took every day I had. Every day I had. Another reply. Another reply. Let's dance. My ex-husband said he called it a dance. I said, well, shit. When I got that first notice, I said, let's dance. Let's dance. Let's tango. Okay? Let's merengue. All right, let's salsa. Let's move it along. Okay? Let's just keep rolling it out. But we don't. We fold up way too quickly. We start packing up. Hell nah. If I'm gonna be inconvenienced, you're gonna be 10 times inconvenienced. Y'all gonna get me cursing on here. I don't want to do it. Okay. So it says, okay, can a group of people unite if they don't have skills to help each other? Do most people have the regular skills that is needed to help to even generate money? They wanted to help. Brother Taalik, you go ahead and take that. I've taken like the last 3 or 4.
Well, see, this is what makes the Mississippi campaign so great, is because we've taken consideration all our people, those with skills, those who don't have skills. In fact, I would like to take advantage even of the little babies. You know how little children are when they're curious and growing up. They see mommy and daddy doing certain projects. They want to help. When they're little, when they get big, is a different ball game. When you're little, I want to help sweep. I want to help mop. I want to help do this. I want to help cook. Yeah, little children is your greatest helpers when they small. When you get some size on you, all that stuff change. But we want to be able to take advantage of all the energy that the 40 million can provide. Even our people in prison and jail, we're not going to have our people in prison and jail just laying around jail all day. We want to open the doors, give them opportunity, not only to rehab themselves, but allow them to participate in the building of a new reality. So when we get done, of course, we're always going to have idiots and, people who break the law or whatever, but we're not going to keep our people all locked up in jails and prisons for the rest of their life and let all the energy. Look, anybody that owns a business know that your greatest expense is labor costs. That's your great human activity involved in your business. That's your greatest cost. So we want to take advantage of all our people and bring them together, no matter where you find a place where you can look. Even a weed head. Look, see, we already been doing this. It's just never been organized. Look, when I was growing up, there was brothers, mostly brothers, probably some sisters too. I never really saw the sisters. Well, yeah, actually, the sisters have skills too. But in a lot of our communities, there's brothers that know how to drywall. They know how to fix houses. They know plumbing, electricity. They know how to fix cars. But unfortunately, a lot of them have criminal background. Unfortunately, a lot of them might have drug problems. But we're going to help them with their drug problem. We're going to help them and give them opportunity because they have a criminal background. We're going to find a place to put everybody to work. Mississippi becomes a work state. It's a work state. Everybody put to work. No more laziness. Everybody doing something. And even a little baby that can't walk, like I said, take your child and put a seed in their hand. They can barely walk. Put the seed in their hand. Take a picture of them putting the seed in the ground. So when they get older, you can tell them, look what you helped build. All this success. See that cotton? We pick cotton, but that's our cotton. We make our shirts. We make our pants. We make our skirts. We make our bedspreads with the cotton that we grow. The corn and the chickens and that nuclear power plant. We built that. The white folks got angry. I'm getting out of here. I'm taking all my stuff. Take your stuff with you. When we take advantage of all the brain power and all the resources that the 40 million have, we're unstoppable. And you got to change from what we are right now because we're damaged goods. Now, we've been living in this mess for a long time. We're damaged goods. We're going to have to learn how to control our Negro behavior. But see, the children that's coming behind us, they're not going to be around that type of behavior. The children that come after us, when you say these certain words, they're not even going to know what you're talking about. Well, kiss my backside and kiss my backside and all these nasty things. What's an ass, mama? What is an ass? What is all this? What is getting drunk? What is that? They don't know nothing about that. The only thing they're going to know about is just naturally living a righteous lifestyle and loving it because that's all they know. They're not going to know anything about crack and getting drunk and cussing and fussing and fighting and slandering. Because you're going to train, like the Bible said, train them up in the right way. Train them as they should go. You got to change and be different. So a lot of these ideas that we have, it's wonderful. These ideas that we have, these are wonderful. We got too many people doing too many things. The energy that we're putting in small projects, you could put in a large project and you get a big payoff. Talk to your gamblers. Most gamblers gamble big. They don't play it safe. They gamble big because they understand when you gamble big, there's a big payoff. All these little small projects that we do, whatever, going to pay off small. And this is what I would like to say because I know that we run out of time here. Look, if you have one bullet in your gun and you're going hunting, would you rather risk that bullet trying to get one quail or two quails for the price of one bullet? Me, myself, I would rather gamble and take the chance that this one bullet can take out two quails. Because if I gamble, there's no guarantee I'm still going to get the one. I'd rather take the chance and gamble and try to get two quails. We think too small, and we
do
think on a selfish level. We're not looking at the broad picture. You tell Sister Courtney, I'm going to say this, we're going to get out of here because I know that we run out of time here. You need to go.
Well, we have about, I said I was going to let us go to 7. So we have about 15 minutes, but go ahead.
Yeah, because I just want to see people, they make mockery of the Mississippi campaign. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. It's great. It's fine. But you tell me, what do you have on the table that you can give to people if they invest, if they sacrifice, if they go for the gusto? Look, let me tell you something. Mississippi is already in the position for you to take control of. When you look at the state of Mississippi, a lot of the key positions are already controlled by Black folks. And the ones that can't get with our program, we can get rid of them. And I'll tell you something else. See, for you to improve yourself, what you don't understand is that even the Caucasian people and other non-soul brothers and sisters in that state will get on board because they understand you're trying to improve the state. So if you're trying to improve the state, that's better for them. You want to knock down the crime rate. You want to get rid of alcoholism and pedophilia and all the ailments of, you want to get rid of that. Who wouldn't want to be part of that? You want to be a proud Mississippian. So when our products go out, people all over the world say, this came from Mississippi. Yeah, I live there. I live in Mississippi. That's what we produce. And it don't make no difference if you're Black or white or Chinese. If you live in Mississippi, that's me. I live in Mississippi. Y'all saw I fried rice in Mississippi. That's my state. We produce that. We produce that. And this is what you don't understand. And you need to get out of this just the color thing. Don't worry about the color. That will handle itself. Because when you put yourself in a position, y'all complain about interracial couples, right? But when the sisters and the brothers see us doing this kind of activity, you begin to fall in love with yourself. Yeah, a white woman is nice. Yeah, a Chinese lady is nice. But look who right here working with me. That's even nicer. You start falling in love with yourself because y'all working together to produce this big thing that has never been done before. And guess what? Y'all talk about the ancestors. Woo, Malcolm be so proud. Malcolm, we run the state of Mississippi. We take control of all this. Matter of fact, it don't even have to stay Mississippi. When we run it and grow it and control it, it can be Little Africa. Instead of Jackson, Mississippi, it can be Jackson, Little Africa. There's nothing nobody can do it. The government can't, the government, it's up to the people. We're the people now. And all that
people, we're the majority.
Yeah, we're the majority, and we run everything. We make the laws.
And especially in Mississippi. So there are 3 states that Black people have enough numbers to actually take over the state. And I will send you that link because they have a meeting later today, but I get this knowledge from the Mahali Party, and I've had some members on before. But those 3 states are Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana.
That's what we're thinking about.
The blacks have the numbers. The blacks
have the numbers.
We have the numbers.
You don't have to beg them for nothing. There's nothing. Everything that you do is legal under the law. You're using your right to vote to put yourself in a political position in order to take control of the politics, the laws. So you can change the law to benefit you. All these different laws and whatever is designed against you. Now you can push them out the way. Now you can make, and all those suckers that don't like you, you can push them out. You don't get with our program, get the hell out. We don't need you. Bye. Adios.
Goodbye. Yes. And go ahead.
Yeah. What I'm saying is whatever state is chosen, I say Mississippi because I think because Mississippi is a poverty-stricken state and nobody really give a damn about it. You don't really hear too much about the state. I said Mississippi.
Besides Emmett Till, that's the
besides Emmett Till,
yeah.
Right.
But they had that show last year with all of the female millionaires getting together.
Was that Mississippi?
That was Mississippi. It was a popular because they had the mayor, the black mayor. What's his name? Chioma. What's his name? The black mayor that was on there.
Jackson.
What's his name? His father was a mayor, and now he's a mayor.
Yeah. I try to contact him, and he don't respond.
I've heard that. Yeah. But they did have a little show. I forget what it was called. I think it was called something like Something Incorporated, I want to say. But it was all female millionaires, and I reached out to them as well because I know you speak on the Mississippi project campaign, the Exodus campaign. So mine is... I'm trying to get people organized to purchase a multi-family property here in Georgia. And it's in a space that would allow us to not only farm, but live in the area because are on the property. Because a lot of times it is a former plantation. It's never been owned and operated by anybody, anything else than a white person. So this is history in the making, and it's a village building opportunity. I'm looking to close on it this month, but we do still have some spaces available. And this is something that I've been, pushing for almost a whole year now. And it's very sad that, the biggest contribution I've ever gotten has been from a white man. Yeah,
unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the biggest contribution I've ever gotten to go forward with this property. So Bruhu asked, can Black people? I'm assuming he means the Mississippi Exodus plan campaign, but he says, can Black people with non-Christian religious backgrounds come too?
Of course, that's the beauty of the Mississippi campaign,
and the same with mine as well.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with your religion, beliefs, your sexual orientation, none of it. No. This is an attempt to put a people in a better position in this life so they can begin to progress forward. You're not progressing forward. Right. You're going to end up, just like Dr. Clark Anderson said, our future generation is going to end up in a position of being a permanent underclass.
It's true.
Do you know that there was a Caucasian man that contacted me and asked me how does that Mississippi campaign thing work? Because he want to try to do it with white people.
Wow. Wow.
But his white people, not just any white people. He got a certain group of people that he represents. How y'all going to take over? How you going to do that? He want, and we talked to him a little while. He want to see. This is the thing about it.
You know what a brother asked me, a very well off. I don't know if he's a millionaire, but he's very well off. You know what he told me? I went to consult with him at the early start of my village vision campaign or initiative, I like to say, or effort. He said, "Why would somebody want to help you get a house?" And I was like, you know, it wouldn't just be me; it would be multiple people. And he was like, "Yeah, but you're gonna live there. Why would somebody want to help you?" And I'm like, "This is a man. This is a man with a family. Like, why would someone want to help a woman with a family get control of this property?" You know, and it wasn't, and I, you know, and if for anybody says, well, maybe he was just saying, you know, why would, like, helping you develop your pitch. But no, he was earnestly asking, like, why would somebody be interested in that? You know? And I'm like, well, you know, I went down the fact that we had never had any ownership of this type of property. I went down the fact of that, you know, we could have, this could be a business incubus. I went down the fact of food, you know, having food sustainability opportunities there. Critical race theory projects can continue to be facilitated there on the property. All these different reasons. And, you know, he was like, well, you know, I may have somebody that'll can help you package that, because like, you know, the more that we talked, it was like, you know, I was showing him that there were other things besides helping me and my family have a home. But he never called back, even though I've seen him like 2 or 3 times at some other events, and he's never even approached it again, because I think at the base of it, it genuinely still is, I don't want to help you. Even though I presented all of these other things that would be helped, you know, the fact of the matter is it still goes down to, this is going to help you. And we are very sick in that regard, that's not enough. And why wouldn't that be enough? Why wouldn't that be enough just to say, hey, you know, this would keep me and my family from being on the streets, homeless. Why isn't that enough? You know, and I just asked that because Reed Nanners did ask, do you have any kids? And yes, I have 2. I have a diamond and a son. My son will be a teenager officially next month. My daughter is already a teenager. Bruhu says, this is another question. He says, what about those who use alcohol in religious or non-religious, spiritual, ritualistic methods?
I'll say this.
Go ahead. Yeah, because I'm confused.
And really, I talked about it earlier, but I just clarify, I guess, because I gave the example. The question is, do you want to win? That's the question.
Period.
That's the question.
Period.
Do you want to do what it takes to win?
Period.
You know, if in order
do
for
you
want
to be chasing rent? Do you want to be chasing low rent every 2 years? Or do you want to have a real leg to stand on when you go to court, if you know something goes down with the mortgage or with the what have you? Do you really want to do that? Do you want to have to pack up your children? Because on average, that's what happens to our families. On average, our Black families, we're having to move every 2 years. The home ownership has been the lowest it has been since 1968 for Black people. The lowest it has been. We're approaching almost you know, it's still double digits, but we're approaching down to 10%. Down from 27 to 19, we're approaching now 10%. Okay, it's a sharp decline. Do you want to win?
Yeah.
Do you want to own? Do you want to build for the next generation? That's the only question. All of this, like you said, who you screwing and what you have to do, and that needs to be And I agree with you wholeheartedly too. Y'all got to prioritize that stuff is bullshit anyway. Stop trying to escape a life and actually make a life worth living. Stop trying with this escape bullshit. I was on a live last night and the brothers was talking about, I have to go where the black millionaire men are. And I said, well, I ain't going to no strip club. Go ahead, brother. I'm done.
But that's the bottom line is, are you willing to do what it takes in order to win? Some of us, and just like you said earlier, sister, look, some of us, the reality is, some of us are comfortable where we're at. I'm just pay me for some lessons. I don't know what these lessons are supposed to do for you, but I want you to come and take these lessons, pay me $49.95 for each lesson.
Right.
I don't know what the benefit is supposed to be or whatever. I don't know what, they fill their pockets. I don't know what you're supposed to get out of it.
Right. Right. And that's what it's really, brother, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And they know they're not putting together, because like I said, for you to be putting together real constructive content, it's going to take more time than what you have, because you're on these lives every other day. So I know, like I said, I'm gonna be honest. I know I don't have the time to put together that type of instructional knowledge for you. I can tell you what I do, but I can't teach you how to do what I do. Yeah. I can't teach that. And I know that. And I have been a teacher in the past. I know what is teachable. I know what's not. Some things are just, you have to learn. You have to do them by experience. Okay, so this brother also, I don't know if you're trolling right now, Bruhu, but we're closing out anyway. But I don't know who's self-medicating with crack cocaine. But I have never, I'm going to go ahead again. Thank you so much for coming on today. You can do the closing word and the send off. Yeah. And I want to again apologize for not having the annual Soul Liberation Day video uploaded yet. But as soon as I get my laptop back, you guys will have access to it, and you can also check it out. It is in the community tab on my, and that is not going anywhere from there. So it is in the community tab on my channel. You can scroll down and you can see. I think it's second from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and cam off, mute off, and thank you again for coming on tonight, and thank you again for giving me the opportunity, because like I said, and you can always count on me. If nobody else going to jump on something like this, it's always going to be me. This is what I feel like the platform is for. If it's for nothing else, it's for this. So thank you again.
You're welcome. And I want to thank our sister Omega for giving us the opportunity to come before you and present just a little taste of how we think and how we roll. And I would like for you to subscribe if you can find us, which we still out there a little bit. Our channel's been terminated. Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, Angel Snupnup 7, Angel SNUP 7, Angel Snupnup 7. But I am on Facebook. You can keep up with us on Facebook. I am Taalik Ibn'rad, but you can find me on Facebook, Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, and keep up with the things that we do. And we are pushing what we call Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign. And I would hope that you would get to learn and know more about the vision, the plan, and the goal. Actually, this could have been done a long time ago. The Nation of Islam could have taken control of a state a long time ago. They had the numbers, they had the influence. They could have taken control of a state. But unfortunately, the leadership only think about their own personal pocket. But look, if you take control of a state, you really got it going on. Not only are you going to get some wealth, you're going to get some power and real influence. But we don't think like that. We think small, and we think like a slave. We don't think like free people. A slave mind is limited, and a slave do not understand freedom. And this is why I don't get upset with people, because you just don't understand. Your mind is limited. You don't understand. You talk about freedom, you talk about liberation, but you really don't know what it is. You really don't. You really don't understand what that's about. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to bring some more understanding, get you to understand the reality of being independent and liberated from. It's easy to run your mouth when you can go to the white man's job. It's easy to run your mouth when you can get a check from the government. It's easy to run your mouth when you're comfortable in your oppression. But what if you was put in a position where you had to actually do for yourself, and we need each other, but you hate each other. So you're in a position where if you don't work with Sister Omega, you die. If you don't work with Angel Snub Nub 7, you die. What you gonna choose? This is where we find ourselves in right now. Not for us, our future generations. Are they gonna live or are they gonna die? It's based on our actions right now, 2021, and going into the new year. What do you want for your children? I don't have to worry about my children. I don't have none. They don't have to suffer. They don't have to worry about nothing. But here you are talking about, I love it, my grandchildren. I love it, my, well then, what are you doing to secure their future? Very little. Talk is cheap. Action speaks. And on that note, again, I thank Sister Omega. I thank everybody in the chat room for participation. Shout out to my crew, Mello, the Deacons of Reality, Sister Ann, Angela Hines, and Ahmad Delight, and Phil Fox, and Razzie Fry, and Z-Mad, all those, and Brother Talib, all those who support this platform. I thank you so much. And hopefully in the future, we'll be right back here with Sister Omega, a very beautiful, kind-hearted, sincere sister. I hope to be working with her and help her in her endeavors and vice versa, because we're here to win. And I wish I had that music to play from DJ Khaled. All we do is win, no matter what. And we are out of here. Peace, love, and soul, y'all. We catch y'all on the flip.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say that. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air. Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, get them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. They saying Luda's back. Blame it on that contour. The hood call it Ludiac. And I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, tight like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South champion. Cause all I do, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get it up. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say that. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Working in my low, head on the swivel, you know serving me.